watch the Izzy one the next day, but
Yeah.
I'm not missing the New Zealand psychopath, brother.
I
And
freaking love Dan Hooker, man. He's over there in the corner with his eye all busted up. He's like, I love this shit.
bro, he must have done the Ric Flair like 17 times during his speech, and I've never seen a UFC crowd go more nuts. People are usually like, "You can take my family and like everything that I've done," and it's like in this busy arena, and no one can hear shit, and they're all just sitting there like no one's impressed. And he was just like, "I love it, woo!" And then the crowd just
Yeah,
like if you're ever on stage and you're stuck, just start yelling USA, like in America. You know what I'm saying? Everyone just loses it. It was like
for
that.
sure. For sure.
Dude, I was on stage one time. I think it was like during a graduation ceremony at my high school. I had no fucking clue what to say. The crowd, I just said, West Springfield, and then the crowd lost their fucking mind. I just said the name of our school and like just people foaming at the mouth. Quick, you ever caught public speaking?
It's that easy, huh? You gotta do that in Colombia.
Eh,
Colombia.
Yeah, just do not. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say Viva Colombia or Viva Mexico or some shit, and I promise you, everyone's gonna lose their fucking minds. I know, man. It's a gift and a curse. All right, welcome back, everybody. If you're watching this, we're going to be covering a few very important things. We have crude oil inventories releasing in about an hour. These are the amount of reserves that all of the biggest oil producing countries are holding. And so there's two important numbers with the oil. It's the amount that's being produced and the amount that is being held or pumped into the market. And you can kind of control prices in the world by forcing certain countries to stop dumping into the market. That's what the US tried to do to Saudi Arabia. They said you have to put a limit on production. Saudi Arabia said, don't curse. Saudi Arabia said, kick rocks. And basically, they continue to produce, but they didn't dump on the market. So oil inventories have been climbing. The strategic petroleum reserves in America have been depleted because Biden sold half of it off. We've been buying a lot of oil from Venezuela and third-party countries. Russia is still selling oil. And so there's a lot of very important plays here regarding oil. It's not just gas prices for us, which is a big deal. That's one of the biggest expenses for a household. If you go from paying, let's call it $100 a month for gas to $180 a month for gas, it does put a strain on budgets. But more importantly, the biggest export for Iran and Russia and some of the countries that are currently embroiled in geopolitical beef is all oil. The biggest export for Russia is oil. The biggest component of their GDP is oil. And so it's a big deal. We're going to be keeping an eye on this. We have the FOMC meeting minutes. This is usually released about 3 weeks after the Fed makes their decision for rate decisions. And there's usually nothing interesting here. It's just going to be a chance for the market to pump liquidity. And so you guys can look at the timing more specifically than the information. I hope that makes sense. Don't try to look too deep into the FOMC meeting minutes and try to gauge how that might affect price. You don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. They don't even fucking know. They're trying their best to make. I just cursed 4 times in a row. We're bringing the swear jar back. All right, we're bringing it back. I might need a fucking shot. I might need a shot caller at this point. Bryce, I'll give you the. No, not Bryce. I'll give it to James, who I trust. Maybe James or Bobby to keep me in check. Okay, so FOMC meeting minutes, it's more about the actual time slot, 2 p.m. liquidity. We're going to be talking about that. The Jackson Hole Symposium, which is an event put on by the Federal Reserve talking about economic policy. You have a ton of great speakers. Jerome Powell speaks on Friday, 10 a.m. So we're going to be kind of watching for the lead up to that symposium. Big market mover. We don't have a Fed meeting in August, and so typically the Jackson Hole Symposium acts as a Fed meeting, not to decide interest rates, but more to get clarity and to give out information directly from the Fed. So that's something we'll be watching for sure. The Democratic National Convention has just finished, and it was worse than I thought. Now, unlike a lot of people who are going to be hating in the comment section saying that I'm way too harsh on so and so, I watched the whole thing. It was like eating glass, okay? But I still did it. Why? For us, so that we can get the right information out without having to rely on the news clips. Because I tried to look up Kamala Harris's policies this morning. You can't find a single negative article. The first 4 pages were the same what is it called? The same news publications recycled. It was Axios, Guardian, the New Woke Post, the New Woke Times, and it's about as worse as you can get. and BBC. BBC and The Guardian is about as worse, is about as bad as you can get. Horrible publications, but I can't find anything realistically. So then I typed in Fox News to see if I can at least get something from the other side. All positive too. Come on, people. What are we doing here? All right. Now, if those of you guys asking what I'm seeing for NASDAQ, if you can't read the words buy and sell and you can't read numbers like this, then I don't know, man. I was going to say I was going to suggest Amazon FBA, but that may not be good for you either. Employment. There's nothing wrong with it. A 9 to 5 might do you right. I'm from Ethiopia. What's up, Ethiopia? Oh, I love my Ethiopians, man. What's up, Roy? When is the masterclass homework going to be sent out? Today is the day, Jose and Celeste vlog. Looks like you got a beautiful family there. Trust me, Jose and Celeste, or Celeste. You guys will get taken care of. He said, love from Pakistan. Good morning or good night. Maid Bagnus Anand. All right. That sounded like I was casting a spell for a second. But if your name sounds like I'm casting a spell, that's strike 1 and 2. All right. We're not playing this today. Let's talk about some of the policies here. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys want me to cover price first. We can go NASDAQ, gold, dollar, and UJ. Or if you guys want me to go through the DNC policies and then just kind of trade as we go along, you let me know. Obviously, we have all the levels already marked off, so it should be no big deal. Price is here, you're slamming some food. I have never heard that one before, bro. That sounds that one's a little out there, right? You guys have heard that saying, right? It's a common saying. Slamming food. But don't hurt the food. It's like, Roy, what are we looking for though on NASDAQ? You're talking about food and whatnot. It's like, I wonder what I'm looking for, people. This is trading. If you don't entertain yourself or find a way, you guys know what patience is? People think patience is like hovering above the ground and setting everything down and not whatever. But I got so much shit to do today, and it just in general, every day of my life for the rest of my life, that I don't want to be patient. Patience is the art of finding what to do in the meantime. You understand me? It's not about, it's like you put the cake in the oven. All right. Patience is not just sitting there next to the oven and just breathing and listening to the whale noises until it all works out. No. Patience is I'm gonna go do this task that's about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, same exact time it's gonna take me. That's what patience is. Let me go do some laundry while this food finishes cooking. It's not let me sit here and just stand next to the stove and just for 30 minutes while this food finishes and just try not to get tempted to open the oven and check on it. That's gonna be tough. I know myself. I'm opening the lid every 2 minutes. That's why I can't be around the rice when I'm making rice. I gotta just walk away. Gotta go find a task. Same with trading. That's why we talk a lot of shit on this live stream because I'm trying to find a way to keep myself busy until it's time to execute. But I'm not going to sit here and be too focused because everybody has there's a diminishing return on time spent on the charts. Okay, so the longer you're on the charts, the worse it gets for you. That's why most of you who overstay your welcome make money and give it back and end up in break even because at first, you're kind of seeing what you see, and then as the market is kind of heading to your entry, you're starting to get that confidence. You're starting to see price respect levels. Things are good. Then there's a point where it starts to go the other way, where now the longer you're on the charts, every decision you're going to make is just going to get worse and worse. You only have so many good decisions in a day. If you think that your decision-making capacity is limitless, you're a clown, right? As a CEO of multiple companies, I will tell you that I reserve my key decision-making capacity for very, very high impact decisions. Roy, what color do you want this flyer and this flyer? Bro, no. You think I'm about to use up one of my ammo on this decision? You're out of your fucking mind. High impact decisions. Should we go to Colombia and do a 1,500 person event in a country that we've never been to? Yes. Right? That's an easy one. Versus you've already crushed your decision making. Now I'm sitting here like, should we and should we not? I'll give you guys the best example. Last night, I'm trying to order some food. I had made about 30 decisions yesterday that were very high impact. Which partners we want to work with, which sort of like influencers we want to invite to Colombia. Are we going to be speaking in Spanish or English? Obviously in Spanish, but if we're speaking in English, what's the translator? There's a lot of decisions got made. I went to order food last night. I got stuck on that screen for like 30 minutes. I'm here trying to pick between two different restaurants. I'm like, yeah, but what if this one comes and I decided I want the other one? I was crushed and I didn't give a fuck what I ate. You know what I'm saying? It's like the end of the day, I'm just hungry. So, so yeah, same thing on the charts. If you guys have experienced that, put something in the chats. And let's go through this decision one more time. Put a one if we should go through the charts first. Put a two if we should go through the DNC policies, and we should go through some of the more fundamental and economic related topics first. Because I tell you, the shit is horrendous. Harris was talking about, it's like people are looking too deep into the specifics, into the details. He said we should be focused on the vibes. On the vibes? I was sitting here listening to this shit. I'm like, I don't actually have to listen to this. Do I? Like, I could just look at the transcript later and then put it into Chat GPT and fucking have it spit it out. But I was like, no, I'm gonna give this a fair shake. I know that people who hate Trump would never sit there and listen to the entire RNC for 2 hours. I'm gonna give them a fair shake and really give them a chance to lay out their vision for what America is gonna look like and what their policies are. Yo, my God, I really wish I hadn't done that. I was sitting there listening to this shit the whole time. I'm like, where's the nearest train track, bro? So playing on a train track doesn't sound too bad right now compared to what I'm hearing here, because the vision for what this future is gonna look like we have issues right now that if we don't get under control, we're going to fall off a cliff financially. Our generations, the younger generations, are going to have to bear the burden of all the money that we printed. Like we're going to be paying 65% tax rates, just like Canada, because Canada don't make money, right? Besides selling off natural resources and some production, but it's like a communist state basically. So there's no real incentive to build in Canada. No businesses are rushing to go to Canada. Their tax rates on corporations are not as high as they should be. And so what they've had to do to compensate is basically steal all their people's money and then guarantee them things like free healthcare and free education. Canadian education's trash. No one's ever flexed the Canadian education. You might flex your Oxford degree from England. You might flex your University of Zurich degree, right? You might flex your degree from the United States for sure. United States college degrees are worth a lot internationally. Who the fuck has ever flexed a Canadian degree? Oh, I went to the University of Waterloo. Of Waterloo. Eh? No one's ever said that shit. Right? You got the diploma on the wall, University of Toronto. And if you guys went to a Canadian university and you're upset, eat rocks. All right? Tell your government to stop being communist, and then we can have a conversation. 65% tax rates, and they want to bring that shit to America. People, if we don't get the national debt under control, we're going to be paying so much to service the debt and interest that we will never dig ourselves out of this hole. Ever. So these policies are absolutely horrendous. $25,000 credit for first-time home buyers. What? What? What if, like one economist on their team? Now, I did find this out that apparently Kamala Harris's dad was a Stanford professor and he's an economist, but he's a Marxist economist. You guys know who Karl Marx is? Have you guys ever read any of Karl Marx's work? It's very similar to the way that Kamala Harris talks. All right. I found this out the other day. I'm reading some old Marxist economists. You guys know that phrase that she always used, the unburdening what has been, and something about what has been done, or whatever the fuck she's talking about. Bro, that's a Marxist economist quote. The unburdening of what has been. Bro, nobody knows what the fuck she's talking about. I'm looking at the crowd. I'm like, oh, this is gonna hit him, right? She's hitting them with like the "Make America Great Again," but like for her campaign, she's hitting them with the unburdening what has been done. I'm looking at the crowd like, huh? They're like, what the fuck is she talking about? Because it's so ambiguously vague. And then I went and started looking into the Marxist economics, and I was like, oh, this whole thing is about redistribution of wealth and labor, unburdening what has. And it kind of clicked. Now you're like, what? Just because her dad's a Marxist economist doesn't mean that she's a Marxist. It's like, that's definitely true. But let me give you guys an example here. If, I don't know, someone's dad is like a professional chef, and the kid is always making food references, and they're always kind of looking at things in the light of like a chef. They're like, oh, you need more flavor and whatever. Is it fair to say that a lot of that influence comes from the upbringing? I don't know. I'm not a fucking psychologist or a child developmental therapist, but it wouldn't it be a little bit fair to assume that some of that upbringing, some of those conversations, some of that education from an early age seeped into the way that she sees economic policy? And now, if we look at, well, Roy, that's all just hypothetical. Okay, now let's look at the last 3.5 years of economic policy under Biden. Doesn't it kind of match a lot of that rhetoric that was being taught growing up? Are these policies likely to continue when she's not the number two, but she's the number one? Or is she likely to completely change her entire perspective on life at whatever age she is, and just completely shift her entire perspective on life to go from Marxism over to capitalist capitalism? I don't know. These are some questions that we need answers to. It's not word jumble. I had to figure that out too. Yeah, I thought it was word jumble. And it's like such a lame word jumble. It's like, at least if you're gonna say stuff, do something like make America great again. Do something like close the border. Do something like lock her up. Like something that's gonna be catching on to the people, right? On burning what is done? Why she always sound like she's so uncomfortable? Bro, listening to this shit made me want to go play in traffic. And why is she always talking like this? Like she can't find the bit. Yo, son, you wanna go try that shit in Iran? Bro, if Netanyahu left you out of your own office in the United States, if he left you out of the Oval Office, I'm gonna tell you something right now. The Ayatollah of Iran ain't flinching for shit at any threats. You know what happens when you make a bunch of threats, like it's kind of like what Obama did, and then the rest of the world doesn't take you seriously? You got to act on those threats now. You got to send a bunch of drone strikes, kill a bunch of kids, just to prove a point. That will happen, and so we need somebody that commands respect without having to pull a trigger. Because then we have to, you know, now we have to actually stand on it. He said that impression is crazy, brother. I watched too much of this shit. So I thought Kamala joined the Zoom call, brother. Let's just say I'd melt the Zoom call. All right, I would self-destruct. I would start the 5, 4, 3 on my laptop if that shit happened. I don't give a fuck what she got to say after watching all this. Now, I want to apologize to absolutely none of you for my language this morning. All right, because I'm a grown ass man and I'm gonna speak how I speak, and that's just the way things are. Hey, bro, I seen VIP up on the website. I was wondering, is it like the old days where we get into the Discord? VIP is up on the website. Is it? Who authorized this? People, I've been 1000% focused on my own trading and FX Summit. We have a 1,700 person event in Colombia coming up in about 10 days. And so I'll be 100% honest with you. Somebody on the team got to answer for this. All right. David, it's good to see you on here, bro. It's been a long time. You still at the shop or no? Good morning. Okay, yep. Everybody says one. You guys are whack. Let me see what the Zoom chat said. Only person that voted in the Zoom chat was George. Now I'll take one VIP member vote over the YouTube votes. So we're gonna go do Kamala Harris policies and DNC while this trade loads up. Let's see what we got here. Almost there. Add a quick alert right here. Hold on. Why am I on Pepperstone?
I think you had it over there because of when Orlando was messing up last week.
My guy.
I did
Yeah.
the same thing too when I first started this week. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. Hold on. You guys know what we haven't really corrected this continuation model right here. That's not good. Yeah, we got to see this or this. If we just keep climbing, then we can use the continuation model from this high right here. Interesting. Got highs, got lows. We got support right here. Actually, let's get accurate. Okay, all right. Thank you for your contributions. Now you guys know that I don't short NASDAQ. I put the sell up here just to kind of showcase which zones we're looking for. And yeah, it's breaking through. Give it a second. It'll come back. Okay. Just you guys think this is our first rodeo. Silly baby pips. Trading. Wait, I was gonna say tricks are for kids. I was gonna say trading is for adults. Let the roasting begin? No, 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 no. No, no. We're keeping it copacetic today, George. Don't antagonize me. Okay. But I feel the vibes through the screens because I used to be in these same seats and the market is coming up here and somebody just hit a quick sell because it got up there. But now it's just going in drawdown and they're like, yo, what the fuck is he talking about? Kid tricks are for kids for, bro. I'm in drawdown. And then so I have to remind them, like, but it's not my first rodeo. Wait for it to reject. Now they're in profits and they're like, oh, wait, maybe he does have a point. Maybe he is nice like that. Yeah, what if I did the rest of the stream in Kamala Harris's voice? Just for you guys to just to drive home this idea that it doesn't fucking matter how horrible the policies are. If you have to listen to this voice for the next 4 years, that might be enough to go vote. How about that? Like we should stop the personal attacks. I'm doing a good impression. If y'all hate her voice, guess who's to blame? Is it me? Probably not, right? The fuck? So, wow, the market rejected that zone. It's so crazy. Yeah. So you can't predict what happens in markets. No, no, you can't predict what happens in markets. We are built different. We're chart addicts. Okay. Like an addict can probably eyeball a crack rock from outer space, right? Be like, oh yeah, that's 0.83145, right? That's exactly how that amount is. It's the same way for me for charts. I'll eyeball a trade from outer space. Just see it from a mile away. Yes, that was a weeds reference for some of you guys. They walked in this like old granny drug dealer's house, and then she was like, and they pulled out a bag of weed, they put it on the table, and she's like, "What? How do you know? How do you know it's not an ounce?" And she said, "Baby, she said I can eyeball an ounce from outer space." And she just walked in the other room, and I was like, "That's the most, that was a boss thing to say, right? When you know your craft, you can eyeball it from outer space." That's a reference for you guys, for the uncultured folks. You're welcome. Right? 25% tax on unrealized gains. Are you serious? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. We already hit them with the. Let me give you four economic policies that if they were implemented would destroy America from the top down. Okay? I'll give you a few things. First, was Kamala Harris the border czar? The answer is yes. Went back and found the clips. They were like, yep, we're giving her the border. She's got it. She's the one, right? And then that shit fell apart. Now, when they said we're going to give her the border, you guys know what they actually meant? Let's give the least qualified person on the administration, the responsibility for closing the southern border. But really, let's give the most incompetent person for the job because they can't secure the border. So we can let in as many undocumented folks as possible to kind of swing the elections in certain places. There are audits being done in different cities where a lot of the illegal migrations have happened, and there are thousands and thousands of undocumented people that have registered to vote already in each of these cities. And this is all documented. I believe there was one county in Pennsylvania that had 3,200 undocumented folks that had registered to vote. And so this is a very deliberate ploy to sort of change the voting base and be able to kind of swing that election one way. I genuinely believe that's the only explanation for letting 20 million people without documentation into the country. I have no problem with letting 20 million people into the country. Honest to God. I do a little bit because there's some economic implications there, but just on a social front, on a personal level, on a moral level, I have no issue with that whatsoever. My issue is on documentation. Who the fuck are these people, bro? I came from Lebanon, right? Most Lebanese people, great people. I love my people, but we got some things to work out. But I've also known some pretty fucking dangerous people back in Lebanon. We're not all the same fucking people. How many people have you met in your life? They're all the same? Look at your friend group. Not your friend group. Look at the people that you know, that you've met. Look at the shystiest people that you've met in your life. Would you want them coming in and just not having any sort of documentation? They could be anywhere doing anything, snatching up kids, doing whatever the fuck is going on. No, I don't care who's coming. Just let me know. What are you here for? Okay. And so that border policy is going to end up creating the next big, and I really, really don't say this with any sense of like it fucks me up to even say this, but my job is to look at historical trends, to look at historical data and predict what's going to happen in the future. That's what trading is. To look at patterns that most people are just missing, that just ignore in front of their own eyes and use that to predict the future. It's what I get paid for. So when I'm telling you guys I'm making a prediction here, I'm not doing this with like this is what I want to happen. This is just you keep driving left, you're gonna go west. Right? It's the way it goes. There's gonna be a big 9/11 style event happening in the next 2, 3 years, and it's gonna come off the back of the 20 million undocumented folks that have come into this country. There are people from the Middle East, from Africa, from China, military age men coming in. 300,000 military age nationals have been caught at the southern border from China. How the fuck do you get from China to Mexico? You guys think that they're seeking asylum? That's what they're doing at the southern border with military haircuts and no family? Yo, this is not a joke. And I can defend myself. I'm ready to go to war at all times. I'm war ready 24/7. I'm finding Bryce's crazy ass. We're posting up at the fucking compound, baby. We got the higher ground. I'm ready to go. Most people are not ready to go. This should be a bigger deal to everybody else. Not me. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm ready for some shit at all times. Are you? Is your wife? Is your girlfriend? Are your kids? No. Okay. So that shit should be the top priority. And if you're like, well, maybe, that's probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. No, it's probably not going to happen to you. That's why you don't care until it happens to you. None of these mall shootings or school shootings or any of these things, people woke up that day like, oh, today's the day it's going to happen to me. Nobody woke up on 9/11 saying, that great day to go to work. They just went to fucking work. And the biggest building in America came down that day. So throwing that out there, the border policies have officially put us in a national security crisis, and it won't be addressed until that event happens, and we can come and look back at this stream. And I'm not gonna say I told you so, and I'm not gonna bring out receipts at that time. It's gonna be a devastating day. But hopefully that wakes a lot of you guys up to the severity of the situation. All right. Markets wise, yeah, I'm looking for this. All right, TP1 is right here, just for clarity. You understand? So if we have a continuation model, it's going to be here, here, or here. Most likely we'll get lower corrections, but just so you guys know where we're at. Go ahead and put a price alert on the downside in case it breaks down. Put a price alert on the upside in case we break out. And let's get back to the story. All right. Border, absolutely horrendous. No plans of closing it at all. Only thing she said that she wants to stop, she wants to close the migrant detention centers. So the only thing that was deterring folks from coming, being put into a temporary jail before getting sent back, you want to close those too. Okay. Economy, $25,000 credit for first-time home buyers. Why is that a stupid idea? We talked about this before. Because of inflation. If we're all playing Monopoly, okay, and I give everybody an extra $1,000 on top, what happens? Now everybody's got so much money. Now we're either going to play for 24 hours this game, or we're going to have to make everything on the board more expensive. It's like if everybody gets the same amount of money up, then everything just goes up by that same amount. The problem that's been happening with the inflation crisis is not everybody got the same amount up, but the prices were rising as if everybody was in equal playing field. No. So what's going to happen with houses? Houses will get $25,000 more expensive, making it more impossible for the next generation to ever buy a home in this country. Stupid policy. Not going to do that. Also on the border, Health and Human Services, the HHS, reported that 85,000 children have gone missing from the border. 85,000. I'll put this in perspective. See how America doesn't give a fuck about kids. 7 non-Israelis were killed in the Golan Heights. Well, they were Israeli, but they're Druze. They're not even Jewish. And Israel sent rockets over to Lebanon and almost destabilized the Middle East into World War III. Over 7 children playing soccer. There's 85,000 children that have gone missing at the southern border that are somewhere in this country being trafficked, being sent all over the world, and no one gives a fuck, right? That's a problem. We're talking about joy and vibes and the first female president. If the first female president is letting 85,000 children roam into this country and get snatched up, who gives a fuck if she's a female? Who gives a fuck if she's one of those Gollum from fucking Lord of the Rings? That's a bad policy. Clearly, it's not working. Throwing that out there. I understand it's moving up. Man, do I have to do a? I'll put in a paper trade here just for fun to show you all what this strategy looks like. I never short stocks. Okay, I never short indices, especially Nasdaq. I'm gonna do this paper trade just to show you guys how effective this strategy is. You guys can choose to do what you want with this information. All right. SL at 117, TP at TP1. I could eyeball a trade from outer space. Incredible. All right, 85,000 children. This is from the HHS. An estimated $18 billion will be made by the cartels in 2024 just through the trafficking of people, not drugs, just human trafficking. $18 billion for the cartels. Sound like a problem? I would agree. Oh, the WIC entry. I'm double tasking right now. You understand? Not only am I breaking down how severe the situation is for America, putting it in context and trying to wake you the fuck up, but also sniping trades. Listen, this is skill set. This is the behind the back Steph Curry shot from half court. No look. All right. How do I do it? Click the link in the description. Sign up for the NASDAQ Master Class. $25,000 home buyers, stupid idea. Corporate tax rate from 21% up to 28%. That's stupid. Okay. I was explaining to the members right before the call started. What do you guys think is going to happen? What happened when Obama raised the corporate tax rate in the beginning? This was the most devastating thing. This is why we have a fentanyl crisis today, off that one fucking decision. All manufacturing jobs from the Rust Belt went to China because cheaper manufacturing was the only way to keep producing cars at a price that Americans were willing to pay for them. Because if you're paying that much in taxes, you can't produce here. So Apple was hiding $180 billion in Ireland. All manufacturing for the cars had gone to China. What happened? What did China import into those middle states, into the Rust Belt, where all the manufacturing had left, where there was now poverty and there was unemployment? What did China import? Fentanyl. Where's the fentanyl crisis currently? In those same areas where all those jobs went to China. Oh, it's a massive coincidence. The Chinese probably stupid, right? Yeah, y'all have met a Chinese person before, right? You guys have seen the policies that China as an entity has not been around for over 1,000 years or thousands of years because they're stupid. Because their philosophy, culture, and strategy as a state, as a nation, is stupid. Clearly, there's been tons of empires, rises and falls, but I'll tell you guys one thing: they're not fucking dumb. They're probably the smartest on the planet. Okay, we do shit by accident. They don't. Nothing is an accident over there. So yeah, Oh, whoa, whoa. Paper trading. So I'm officially up over 2 to 1 or 1 to 1. So the risk was about 1900 on that trade. Floating 2400, that's over a 1 to 1. So what I'll do is I'm gonna let this thing push one more time and I'm gonna close half the trade. Go ahead and buy back half of the units. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, it hit TP. And it's gone. That was quick, right? It's like a party trick, people. This is my equivalent of the animal balloons. No one's impressed. Are you not entertained? Says Roy the goat. No, no. Jesus is king. License to carry. Well, in Floridia, you don't need a license anymore. So you literally just have it. FOMC long on NAS. Why are you worried about what's going to happen in 5 hours? Cello. Hey, bro, I'm doing good. Yeah, still at the shop, just grinding, working every day, but also just DM'd you on Instagram to show you the VIP in case you want to take it down. David, I'm going to look into this as soon as as soon as we get off this stream. C-Force is the fourth turning. Lewis Howes, baby. The fourth turning is a book, in case you guys don't know, that basically tracks trends of basically if these things happen, then this is going to be the result on a society or on a civilization, the collapse of civilizations. And the last one that has not happened is civil war. And we've already kind of crossed all the markers off on the fourth turning checklist, and they've all come true. From the inflation crisis to just all of it, to the social unrest. Last piece was civil war. And so hopefully we get off that track. It's not an inevitability. It's not inevitable that, that we have a civil war. But if we keep going down this track, yeah, there's only one way this ends. So, who knows? We'll do gold real quick. Gold broke the 50,000 or the 2,500, got up to the 2,530. We were expecting 2,540 for the correction, but now we're creating a new higher low right here. So, members, you guys can see impulse up, duck, duck, goose, right at the all right. So if you're looking to buy gold, I would wait for the retest of the 78, which is 24.99. Wait for it to kind of close back in 24.99. You want to buy as close to that level as humanly possible. And even though this is very, very high, market's still bullish. Market's still creating higher highs and higher lows. And so trade the trend until it ends. What do we have here? Okay, we got the DXY super secret magnet indicator. Can't beat it, can't touch it. As soon as we reject this level, the indicator's coming out. It's probably going to put something right here. But it went so fast, it would have been a 1 day pass. Kicking myself now, I got out at $1,500 profit. Imagine kicking yourself because you made $1,500. Josh, go touch grass. What the fuck did I just read? It's like maybe okay, actually, don't even touch grass because I know you got the boot. I know you still boot it up. So what I would do is open up your laptop and look up median salary in America. Okay, now divide that by 12 to show the monthly salary. And now divide that by 30 to show how much you get. Well, 24, no, 22 days, 22 work days in a month. So go and divide whatever that number is by 22. And the average salary, you know what? Let's do this together. I'll do median salary in US. Oh, sorry, no, average. Did my shit just freeze on me again? It's not 63,000. That's just not true. Yeah, that's just not true. Okay, that's more like it. 48,000. Talking about 65,000 is the median. I want to go find whatever publication that was and cook them. So 48,000 divided by 12, that's 4,000 a month divided by 22. So the average American is making $181 in a day, Josh. Waking up at 5, taking their ass to work, working there all fucking day, dealing with bullshit from their boss and their coworkers and everybody in between, coming home, late after 1 hour of traffic. Yo, do they really want me to sell this shit again, bro? What are they? They're begging me to sell this again? What do they want? The market is damn near begging us to sell this again, but I won't. Okay. You quit while you're ahead, people. This is like you're at a hot hand in blackjack and you're like, well, I'm winning. So obviously I'm going to keep winning, right? You know what I'm saying? But the median, so $181 a day, Josh. You just made $1,500 in about 30 seconds and you're kicking yourself. So I might have to kick you instead. Like Bryce might have to kick you. That might hurt a little bit more. I said might. Bryce, I got that Luke Rockhold in that left leg, but left leg cemetery. I got the Mirko Crow Cop in this right leg. Left leg hospital, right leg cemetery, baby. All right, 6 accounts, 1,500 on 6 accounts, and 3K on my top tier. Gonna roll around in the grass. Catch y'all later, fam. Perfect. How many contracts you put on? He said, call me Jensen. I'm gonna call you Josh, because that's your fucking name. That's what your parents named you. I'm not gonna disrespect Mom and Pops McGinnis by calling you a different name. You understand? That happened. All right. Let's see if we got a breakout from here. We already hit that TP1. I told you guys the options were Bink, Bink, or Bink. I told you I wasn't going to buy unless it's one of these. That's why I have the word buy next to it. So you can't fuck it up. You understand? And so we could still do this correction, which is kind of what I'm waiting for, but we already hit that TP1. So the trade could technically be done already, and we could just be moving up for the continuation. I don't buy that. All right. I'm still expecting this. All right, let's keep going with this. 25% tax on unrealized gains. So we've already mentioned horrible policies. We have the border policy, which is horrible, $25,000 first time home buyers credit. I liked it better when they were just vague as shit about all their policies, when there was nothing for us to really attack. And so people kept calling me sexist, right? Because at least that was working for them. I couldn't say shit. They'd be like, oh, Roy, you're just saying that because she's a woman. You don't think women are competent. First off, that's not true. Some women are not competent. Most men are incompetent. Look at the government, bro. They're all fucking incompetent. It's not because of gender. I'm an equal opportunity hater. I hate all genders equally. I hate all races equally. Roy, do you say you really hate Arabs? Fuck them. And the whites. And Asians. Everybody. Just, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm equal opportunity. And so when I was trying to find policies in the past 2 months to kind of go off of to criticize the Democratic side on the future of this country, I realized number one, they don't have policies on the website for Kamala Harris's campaign. Number two, they probably should have stuck to that because 25% tax on unrealized gains. Let me give you guys an example. Your parents bought a house back in 2015 for 200,000. Now it's worth 380K. Thanks, mom and pop. You guys made one good decision. And that one decision over the last 10, 15 years has helped you build wealth in this country. Congratulations. You ain't go chase short-term money. You stayed in that house. You paid that thing off. And now you've built 180K in equity. You haven't sold the house yet. So you don't have to pay taxes on that money until you sell the house. 25% tax on unrealized gains means that $180,000 of equity that they've built in the house, they have to pay taxes on before they even sell the house. How the fuck are you going to get this money together without selling the house? You're going to have to go take a loan on the equity and use that loan to go pay off the house or to go pay off the tax. No one's going to do that. So clearly that's a stupid policy that's just never going to work. I told you they were begging us to sell it again, man. They were just like, Roy, please enter a short position. And I said no, because I got discipline. All right. These policies are going to bankrupt America all the way down. On digital assets, No policies at all. Trump said that he was going to fire Gary Gensler on day one. Did you guys see that clip? One of my favorite clips of all time. Trump says he fires Gary Gensler day one. He had no idea how unpopular Gary Gensler was. I don't get paid to spell, people. Bear with me. Okay. Trump had no idea how unpopular Gary Gensler was, but anyone here who's involved in cryptocurrency knows the head of the SEC is the reason why all crypto left America, the reason why crypto innovation has been stifled. He's the one that took XRP into that lawsuit for 3 years and fucked up all of our XRP bags. So yeah, it's big fuck Gary Gensler. Okay. He gets up on stage at the Bitcoin conference, says day one he's going to fire Gary Gensler. Look at the reaction of the crowd. Look at Trump's surprise, because Trump says one-liners at every rally to kind of see what's popular. It's like, we're going to end, he said, save the children one time. Crowds went nuts. He looked around. He was like, these are the policies, bro. These are the policies that people care about. Peep this.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be
This is my president, bro. I have to campaign for this motherfucker. Just off of this 1 minute clip.
the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
That's brilliant.
If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to
the moon, as they say, bro. What else do you need? Guys, whoever's in the White House doesn't fucking matter, except for the policies that they help put out, right? Okay, tweet whatever you want, say whatever you want, but if he's talking about Bitcoin's going to go to the moon, sign me up. Because if I make $500,000 from crypto, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'll just move. I'll leave. I'll stay. I'll hire security. So you guys want to vote for whoever's going to make you rich.
the moon. I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen. I pledge to the Bitcoin community that the day I take the oath of office, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's anti-crypto crusade will be over. It will end. It'll be done. It'll be done. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
Standing ovation, and they didn't even let him finish the statement. It was so popular that he decided to do it again. He looked around, he said, wow, I had no idea he was so unpopular. He said, let me say it again. On day one, he said it again, and people got out of their chair. They're kicking the people around him, foaming at the mouth. Gary Gensler sucks, people. He sucks. You guys can go and watch our podcast with TradingView with the founder of Oanda, Dr. Olson. And I've asked every single major corporation. I talked to the New York, Peter Tuckman at the New York Stock Exchange. We talked to some of the biggest brokers in the world. We're in talks with the 5 largest crypto exchanges in the world: Binance, KuCoin, Kraken, Gate.io, Bybit, Bullish. Basically, if they're on the top 10 list, they're coming to the summit. Crypto.com. The regulatory environment in America has basically made it impossible for anyone to build, and so everyone is just stealing our lunch. Like, while all these corporations were building here, after everyone saw what happened with XRP, for the last I don't know, it's not even 3 years. It's been a long time in that SEC lawsuit. Nobody wanted to do that. Coinbase is the only one that stepped up to the plate and became a U.S. regulated entity and got listed on the NASDAQ, so they get audited all the time. But no one was looking at XRP saying, yeah, we should go build in America now. So imagine all that tax money, all the hiring that they could have done, employing people here in America, using that tax money back into the system, improving our GDP. No, sent it all over to Asia and send it all over anywhere but America. We're fucking stupid. Like, honestly, we're not stupid. The policies of the current administration are pretty dumb. So yeah, Gary Gensler out. Lena Khan at the CFTC, she's got to go too. Alejandro Mayorkas, head of the National Security, Department of Homeland Security, he's got to go because he's in charge of the border. He's the one that denied RFK the Secret Service detail. He's the one that's literally fucked this country from start to finish. An absolute rat. I think Alejandro Mayorkas, and then you guys be like, oh, that's a very harsh thing to say. When the next 9/11 happens off of his policies, you guys will think that me calling him a rat is probably deserved, right? It's probably the least of the things we should be calling him at that point. So he's endangered all of our futures and the futures of our children in a major, major way. He'll never feel the impact. He's going to be in Aspen. He'll be in Beverly Hills. He'll be in fucking the Hamptons, and he will never touch foot on the ground of where the dangers are supposed to be, where the dangers are going to be. He's never going to step foot in the next, World Trade Center that happens. He's going to be cushioned away, just like John Bolton, who took us into every major war the last 10 years, and just be fucking tucked away somewhere with Secret Service, like a good little lapdog, and they'll just try to hide him. He is an absolute disgrace to America. Just throwing that out there. So he's got to go. Who else? William Barr, the head of the Department of Justice. Yo, son, don't even get me started on that shit. Y'all want to fuck with a conspiracy theory? Go look up who William Barr's dad was. Go look up what he did, and then go look up who his teacher's assistant was. Let me just break it to you. Bill Barr's dad was a professor, gave Epstein his first job. He was his understudy. A lot of people say that he learned a lot of these tactics, habits, going after successful people and using that for blackmail, etc., from William Barr's dad. William Barr is now the head of the Justice Department, and Epstein is where he's at. We're just going to go ahead and follow the storyline all the way through. The Department of Justice is the #1 department in all of America. They are in charge of the FBI. They're in charge of the Secret Service. You guys understand that? The Department of Justice is the legal kind of backbone for all these agencies to have legal power. And we have this most sus person in America in charge. Yeah, it gets deeper. I don't know how we got here, people. We're waiting for this buy position. We're here, right? We put the tinfoil hats on. What other policies we have? Oh, wait, no, that's it. Right? Nothing else. Oh, price fixing. We're going to go back to Marxism real quick. Price fixing is telling the free market what they can and can't charge. Now, I'll tell you guys something. We have 20 different grocery stores here. There's a Winn-Dixie somewhere. There's probably, depending on where you're at, Safeway, Giant, Food Lion, Aldi's, whatever you got, Walmart. If one of them just starts price hiking, meaning you go in, everybody's charging, ooh, damn. Quick leakage. All right. If one of them starts charging, let's say $20 per lemon, the other ones are still like you get 3 for $1 or whatever it might be. 3 for $1. You go to Aldi's, and today they just chose to do $20 lemons. What happens to Aldi's? People stop going. Right? What happens to Aldi's finances? They all go down. They stop. They're broke. What happens when a company goes broke? They either change or they fire the executive team for making stupid decisions, and then they bring the prices back down. The free market does have a pretty good mechanism because we as consumers are not going to overpay for shit unless we're dumb, right? There's not enough dumb people or rich people to go and keep Aldi in business if they start doing $20 lemons. So you don't need to do price fixing to tell grocery stores that they're not allowed to charge above a certain amount for certain goods in order to have the effect that you want. The only thing you're going to do is create regulatory oversight from the government onto physical businesses. And that's literally what communism is. It's a government takeover of private property for the redistribution of this property to people who don't fucking deserve it. Like, what do you mean they don't deserve it? It's like, yo, why? The only price fixing that I think I would support is medicines, because the medical, let's say, machine and the pharmaceutical machine in America is broken and corrupted so beyond repair that unless you have like a bunch of Mark Cubans who are doing cost plus drugs and sort of like low cost alternative generics, unless you're doing stuff like that, you may have to do some price fixing on cancer treatments, on diabetes medications, and on life-saving treatments. That I would support, because a lot of these pharmaceutical companies are not charging fair value. They're charging, oh, you're dying and you need this shit? Okay, pay us right? Let's take the other kidney and sell it so we can pay for this medication. That I think that there's a conversation to be had about not price fixing and telling them what they can and can't charge, but limiting the percentage of profits that can be generated from life-saving medications. That's regulation I think we should impose. But price fixing for grocery stores, dude, we literally, this is about as Marxist as we're going to get. This is socialism to its core. That's the last thing I'm going to say before we hop off here. I had an Uber driver who was from the Soviet Union. This was like a week ago. And he was telling me, he's like, yo, the direction this country's headed is about the same as what he was seeing in the Soviet Union. Because eventually there's just not enough resources going around to the point where the government has to take over certain industries and redistribute that. And if you guys don't believe me, look at what happens with food in this country. Why are farmers subsidized? Why is it called NFP, the non-farm payroll? Why is farming excluded from all economic projections? Because it's subsidized from the government. The government pays farmers to grow certain things in excess of other things, in proportion to other things, in order to basically maintain a quota for what we need to produce and export, but also for consumption in this country. But that's why everything in the country has corn in it. Not because corn is the easiest or the best thing to grow. It's decently easy, but the government subsidizes the corn growers. So now they put high fructose corn syrup and all this shit, and there's like, now the gasoline that you have, there's like, there's ethanol in there now. What? I don't know. So whatever the government gets involved with, it fucking sucks, including subsidies and getting involved in the free market. Hit my daily goal. I've been over trading lately, so I'm going to hop off and avoid temptation. Thanks for the call. Take it easy, Janae. Crush it, and make sure to turn off that computer. There's another time where money is moved from A to B. Yep. Yep. So Marxism, not a good idea. National security is a big deal. Our kids need to be safe. What else? Ooh, that's why we don't overstay our welcome. Damn. The crude oil inventories just dropped. Oh, let me see the DXY. The DXY should be crashing right now. No. U.S. oil. WTI crude. Let's see where we're at. So this was the price prediction I had. I haven't looked at crude oil since December. So this is like the beginning of the year. This was my expectation. Pretty successful year for oil prices. And then Joe Biden, I believe this is where he sold off the strategic reserves. Okay, we seem to have found a pretty good support here. And then we have 4 point. Yo, what the fuck just happened? Bro, who is forecasting this? I just noticed the forecasts have never been accurate. How do you have a forecast of 0.9 million and you get 4.9? Who the fuck is forecasting this stuff? The Energy Information Administration? Bro, gut the if this is a government agency, I swear. .gov, bro, gut this entire agency from start to finish. How are you the agency on oil and you're this fucking bad at your forecasts? Have they ever had a forecast that's even close? No, not even in the same ballpark. This is just embarrassing. Let's see what we have here. A one-pager. Interesting. Looks like oil prices are starting to rebound here. But why would NASDAQ be rallying off of WTI news? Let's play this out. Let's go through the logical chain here and see if we can figure out why there is a correlation between this WTI number. So crude oil inventories or crude oil refinery inputs average 16 Ms. Refineries operated 92% of their operable capacity last week. That's pretty good. Gas production increased, averaging 9.8 million barrels a day. Distillate fuel production increased last week. Okay, so production's up. U.S. crude oil imports averaged 6.7 million, an increase of 366,000. So we're importing way more oil than we were. Over the past 4 weeks, they average about 6.5 million barrels a day. Okay. Let's see if we can get so that strategic petroleum reserve right here. It decreased by 4.6 million barrels from the previous week. What the fuck, dude? Why? How are we importing so much more? How are we importing so much more and we're not replenishing the strategic petroleum reserves? People, we're bringing in 6.7 million barrels a day. 6.7 million a day. And somehow the SPR is down 4.6 million barrels in a week. 1 day's worth of imports would replenish our SPR. This is so fucking ridiculous. Now we have imports. Where's our exports? We don't talk about crude oil exports. What the fuck is this report, dude? Yeah, whatever this energy administration, energy information administration, take all this fucking money and give it to another agency. This is the most useless agency I've ever seen in my life. That report was, well, I mean, okay, a lot of the news, a lot of the policies are actually from the administration. They're not from them specifically, but just even the forecasting on this. What are they even, what's the point of having a forecast if it's that off? Anyways, so it looks like it's positive news. What this actually means is that we're down 4.6 million in the strategic petroleum reserves. We were expecting this to be down a bit lower. Why would depleting the SPR push NASDAQ up? Does anyone have any theories here? Hey guys, it's Bryce here from Free State Clarence, South Africa. What's going on? Jeffner, good to see you, my guy. Good morning. Can I look at U30? No. All right, I'm gonna have to look into this. I'm gonna have to look into this. Crude oil inventories being down means dollar rebound. Dollar rebound should mean stocks go down. That is very strange. Anyways, pretty good day overall. Damn, and the members, they heard me talk about the daily bias before, and I was honestly way off about the daily bias. I was expecting a bearish daily bias, but a bullish kind of like impulsive move. We did go for this. We turned the shorts into a scalp and the longs or the longs should have been kind of that intraday trade. Anyways, the euro dollar guy most likely knows. Euro dollar guy. Oh, shit, Chris. Bro, stop, man. Bro, I don't even remember half the shit I say on the streams. Do not hold me to it. What's going on with the YouTube chat? Bots everywhere? Where? I don't see any YouTube comments, I'm gonna be honest. It's just kind of dry today. Who cares? All right, y'all. Peace. Yeah, members, Janae, everybody, glad y'all got out on time.